Filinvest Development launched a group-wide vaccination program called PhilVax, which aims to fully vaccinate its 15,000 employees. But as well as coping with the crisis from a business perspective, Josephine took the lead to help out her country. Filinvest City Foundation, which powers Thinking Machines, a data science company, worked with the Department of Health of the Philippines to set up the country's COVID-19 tracker. Do you remember when the chaos first broke or when the virus first broke out? What were some of the steps you took to stand out, to lead the way?
I think one of the things that is very prominent is that I had just come back from Singapore, and I was always reading about the MOH dashboard, right? And when I got to the Philippines, I didn't see that. So I made a cold call to one of the secretaries, and I said, I'm going to fund a data warehouse so that you can put up a COVID dashboard. I think was quite important because I think people get some sense of comfort when they can see the COVID numbers and they can see what's happening.
What about safety of your employees? What were some of the things you did to keep your employees safe?
Well, we had a Filinvest Stay Safe at Work program. We first got data on who were the high contagion risks and who were the highly vulnerable so that we could map out our safety protocols in accordance to that data. We immediately transitioned to a hybrid work from home setup as well as staggered schedules. We had to build up trust in vaccination. We were one of the first who signed a tripartite agreement with the government so that we could get vaccines early for our workforce who are essential workers. And of course, all of this is supported by the HMO program, the HR Med Help program.
Like all businesses, Filinvest Development was impacted by the pandemic. What were some of the big lessons you've learned?
The big lessons I learned were actually from the past crisis. So for example, our diversification strategy worked out. We were able to balance our defensive against our cyclical businesses against the pandemic. We were able to come up with a financial plan that could mitigate pandemic risk, as well as the successful REIT listing. Because of our investments in the IT platform, we were able to transition to work from home and continue to service our customers even during the pandemic.
And speaking of the digital space, there's a lot of movement into this segment because of the pandemic.
Yes.
What other potential do you see in a digital space when it comes to your other traditional businesses? How else can you make that transformation digitally?
I think the other areas is really internal digitalization of your processes, such as in the property. In property, from training the salesperson to recruiting the salesperson, all the way to booking the sales, everything is done digitally so that even during the lockdown, we had no problems getting our sales in. The customers would look at the units virtually. There would be drone programs to show them what the unit looked like. So there's a lot of places where you can use digitalization to the advantage of the company.
When it comes to your infrastructure business, is digital becoming a big part of your portfolio?
I don't think in the brick and mortar it is going to be as much. If ever, it could be a very helpful tool in smart cities. And I think that you would be able to build up some kind of an ecosystem with the digital tools now for the smart city among the locators and the visitors.